we're going to break down how we lit Machine Gun Kelly on fire.
Let me come show you guys how I got like this.
My name's Ivan Moran. I'm visual effects supervisor for Project Power for Netflix. Project Power tells the story of some shady group that manufactures a drug which is tested on individuals. It gives the individuals super abilities or powers for 5 minutes.
It doesn't just give you this awesome ability, it also has a consequence to it, but his body depletes constantly as he takes it.
1001, 1002, 1003.
We did a camera test, just somebody's feet walking through frame. We devised little flaming footprints, embers that came off the floor. We then did the repeated stunt fire test. When it was all put together with some CG fire added, it looked fantastic. The one problem that remained, and it's the hardest thing of all, is the lighting problem. Solve the problem of how to illuminate the actor from what would become the fire on his body. We came up with this LED suit, which was strips of LEDs that could be programmed.
It's the first time they actually cast me without needing to read or audition for the movie, and funny enough, this is the first time I didn't ask any questions, and wish I would have asked a question.
This is particularly groundbreaking and a bit of an industry first because it's a programmable LED suit that's actually embedded in full screen prosthetics. It's meant to be on camera. The problem was that we wanted to do full body prosthetics. So the problem became, how do we attach these LED panels? Because it's not just the panels. They have wires, they have battery packs. So we actually embedded the wires and the panels within the layers of the prosthetics themselves. The idea is not that we're changing an actor entirely. We were always wanting to keep as much of Machine Gun Kelly's body and face, most importantly, to really harness that wonderful performance that he gives.
5 hours of makeup every day.
And the LED lights, once they're warped and changed a little bit, they kind of look like crispy coals on a fire, which was the idea that we wanted for him.
The scene I'm shooting this week is basically, this is my home. Jamie Foxx comes to visit me because he's trying to figure out where the power pill is coming from. And then he shoots me with the shotgun.
The pills have amplified these subatomic vibrations now to such an extent that superheated boiling steam is actually happening inside his body. The shot where he's in the chair was meant to be a highly explosive element, so we chose a mannequin and we exploded it on fire. On top of it, we build a digital version of each of our characters so that we're able to augment them. And so this was one of the few shots where the character that you see in the chair is purely digital, a purely digital version of Machine Gun Kelly, and then various CG elements have been added in terms of fire and explosions and embers to really give it that sort of terrifying feeling. So this is one of my favorite shots, principally because of the performance from Machine Gun Kelly himself. It's so violent and powerful and terrifying. What we did is we shot him with his LED suit. We made sure, even with him on set, that we had little bits of real fire on the wall that we could build off. The first pass that you see is essentially the digital version of Machine Gun Kelly on top with extra fire elements added. As we're wiping between these layers, what you'll notice is that there's 2 patches of real fire on the wall and behind the chair that were actually for real on set. The next layer, which features the CG fire, you can see that they match each other. One of my other favorite shots is Machine Gun Kelly dropping through the holes that we presume he's actually made in order to navigate this building. We don't really know. You can see in the plate, it is actually Machine Gun Kelly. He's on a wire harness that gets painted out. We then match his performance from an animation and lighting standpoint with the digital double. Once we have that step, Then we're able to add all of the elements that we have in our library in visual effects. Interactive lighting, more lighting onto the body of the character, and all of the various fire, steam and smoke and ember elements. Once we had those matched, we then took a little bit of creative license to move the fire. We really wanted it to be a character, so it moves around his body. And by slight happy accident, one of the visual effects artists had too much volume, for lack of a better description, on his fire setting. And when it was rendered, it looked like the digital double character was almost like a blowtorch. It looked a little unrealistic, but it was quite fascinating, and the directors really wanted to employ it somewhere. So where we employed it is the shot where Machine Gun Kelly reignites after taking the 3 pills.
Doop, 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 doop.
He puts his hands on the walls, and then when he ignites in this incredibly ferocious human blowtorch kind of way, almost at desperation level to get his foe.
Where'd you get this shit from? Who's making it? Tell me the source.
Science in this moment is that he's essentially ODing.
Shit.
The bathtub sequence at the end was particularly compelling, but also particularly challenging. Could we have him in the suit and add the water? But probably not. So then I was back to the how do I get the interactive light on the actor problem. So we had LED strips around the bathtub that we could program. We start with the original footage where we can see the strip lighting from the LED lights in the bathtub, which gives us that all-important interactive lighting. And we begin to layer up the various visual effects elements. So we have steam, we have embers, and we have the fire itself that we can turn off and on to give us this stop-start, spurty feeling that we like from the bathtub R&D. There was one particular moment in one of the bathtub shots when one of the artists managed to produce what became known as the fire burp. And so all of this fire started coming out of the digital double's mouth for no particular reason.
He took too much.
And when we looked at it, we were like, oh, we have to do that.
It's Peggy! Speak up, son! I still have no now! Where's he at? How many did you take?
This particular shot is really, really fun, but funnily enough, it's actually one of the most challenging ones we found in visual effects, because the fact that it's shot overhead means that every kind of explosion that we tried, every fireball, every burst of steam covered the camera. You couldn't see anything. So it became this incredibly crafted, art-directed moment in visual effects where there is an explosion of steam, all the elements are in there, but they're all crafted so that you still see our actor thrashing about and you still catch a few frames of his face just as he's about to explode. And I think that's what makes it terrifying. So I'm really proud of this shot. It was very difficult, but it's awesome.
I'm very excited to add this character to my resume.
Thank you so much for watching. Please check out Project Power on Netflix.